Yeah, okay, so you should be able to see all this. I'll put away that for now, but if you went to D2L, today's exercise is there. That's the lab. So you all found that, I hope, right? And then you download that. And when you download it, um, you should get a Word file. Looks kind of like this. Well, it's the same thing, isn't it? So we don't need that anymore. We can just look at this. This is the exercise that yours to do. It's more than one. It's more than one file. It's multiple files. So it's going to have one file which is going to be the welcome. That's index.html. Another file which is going to be directions.html. Now I did put on D2L. I did put and people noticed that that was actually from another class. That's from the class that follows on from here. But it was like an introductory lesson for them, which is supposed to be a review of this course. And so I think it's kind of at the level that you do, but maybe a little, yeah, it's no trickier than this, but let's have a look anyways. Okay, we're right. You guys are following me, right? What do we do? To do this, there's a couple of things that we have to do that maybe we haven't done so much before. One, we have to work with our folders. And so I hope you've done that somewhere at some time. But if not, we're going to look at this just quickly. You know how to make a new folder. So if you're in a folder like this, you can right click, or I noticed that I have an icon up there that I can make a new folder. So I'm going to make a new folder and I'm going to put images in it. And now when I make folders for websites or programming or anything like that, file names, folders, I start them with a lowercase letter unless it's a class in something like Java or whatever that. But the normal, oh, there's people waiting in the waiting room, so let's let them in. The normal sort of protocol is that we generally just we use lowercase letters to start our files, and that way we have a standard and it's sort of easier because with some of our programming tools, what we find is that um, what we find is that um, Linux, etc., they are case sensitive. And so we don't. So we need to know what are the names of our files, what are the name of our folders, not just the name in the letters, but whether it's upper or lowercase. And so standardizing to a lowercase kind of makes things a bit easier. So I'm going to have a folder for images. I think that's all I need for this one because it's fairly simple. Because what we're going to do is we're going to. Or doesn't lab have a deadline? Yeah, I think the end of the week or something. Yeah. Um, so we've got an images. We need to put some images in there. So we need to know what are the images. And what I look here is I see drip supreme, iced chai latte, and iced coffee with milk. Now what I've done is I've actually just getting ready for this is I just did a Google because I don't have any images of that. But if you do a Google on images, now be careful with this. If you're doing this for a commercial website where you're going to be charging people money to go and do things, don't go and lift photos off the internet unless you know that they're not copyright protected, right? Better to get somebody in your design thing to make it. But we're not selling this website. So I mean, and we're not taking stuff off commercial websites. So I think we're going to be okay. But I just a bit of a warning there. Always be aware of the copyright issue. So I've actually saved over here. I've saved Drip Supreme just by doing a Google on it, and I've got the iced chai latte, and there's another one here called iced coffee and milk. So I'm just going to get an iced coffee and milk um, image. Because I don't have an iced coffee and milk image. I mean, who's got an iced coffee and milk image, right? Oh, look, somebody has. Look at that. There's an iced coffee and milk image. So I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to save it and I'm going to call it iced coffee and milk. And so I got that saved there. I'm going to take those 3 images and I'm going to put them into my folder for my images. So I've got my images there. Now they're not standardized size, but that's okay. We can fix the size. Now they have to. It's good to remember how we did the image because the images could be JPEG, JPG, or they JPEG, or they could be PNG, whatever, or they could be GIFs. Any of those things you can insert into a web page, and so you need to kind of keep track of what are your files. Sir, doesn't Lab have it lit? Can I use a picture from Starbucks? Yes, you can. Uh, as I said, that's a commercial website. It's okay for us because we're not sharing it. We're not actually publishing to the internet. If you had a coffee shop and you started using Starbucks images, I think that would be a very bad idea because they're a very big, rich company and they might come chasing after you and they could make you go broke really quickly uh, because rich company with lots of money for lawyers, they don't like people using their copyrighted stuff, right? So yeah, I wouldn't, you know what I mean? If you're gonna do your own little coffee shop and you're gonna use images, don't use Starbucks images. Okay. If you become rich, then you'll have your own lawyers and you'll have your own graphic designers who will make your own images for you. That's what I would suggest you do. So yeah, yeah, get your own graphic designers. So that's part of the web stuff, right? Is graphic designers. So we've got some images there, and I've put them into a folder. Now, looking at the way that this folder works, can you see there that if I back, so I've got the images in the parent directory from so the images is the child of the lab one. And so in lab one, I'm going to create in here the file where I'm going to do my work. And so I'm going to look at my work and what does it say? Well, I need to have an index, and so the welcome page is the index. We can call it the welcome page, and it's going to have a bulleted list of these things, and we're going to use those images for that. Okay, so how we would do that is we'd get our editor, and our editor, what I like using is Visual Studio Code. Come on, Visual Studio Code, come up. It's a little slow because it's got to load up all the things that we've done, right? Going to make a new file. And with every new file, we're going to do the doc type thing, right? And then we're going to have our HTML tags. And then I'm going to save it. And I'm going to save it here, right? In lab one. I'm going to save it and I'm going to make sure I call it index.html. And I'm going to make sure that I save it as a HTML file. And now it's going to come up as ready to sort of edit. And so away we go, right? So what are we going to, we always need to have a head because that's where we're going to put our styling. And we need to have, well, I'm going to do a body. I noticed in this one that we had some navigation. So I'm going to put a nav tag. And what else? So just to keep it in line with stuff that you've already seen, we had a main. And that's where we're going to put some stuff. Yeah, somebody's
Before
talking.
the navigation, it's header, then the navigation.
All right, good. So not sure what the header on this one is, but I mean, we could say welcome there, right? In our header, I'll make it a H1. Welcome to our coffee shop. Do it in the old style. And so we're gonna have some navigation. The main navigation there is going to be to the sorry, I've got two things going on here. Chats. What else? Sir, does it make a difference if I wrote doc type instead of no? It's okay. No, I don't think so. Use capital. It doesn't make any difference. Correct. So in our navigation, we want to have some A tags. And oh, so in our A tag, we're going to have a href. And our href is going to be equal to, we need to go to from, now I'm doing the dot. That means the current directory. I'm in the root. This directory structure has one child. And so what is that child? Well, look at that. It even helps me to tell me. It's the, oh, you know what? I need to have another, I don't have that folder yet. What is it? It's directions, right? So actually, I'm going to make a new folder before I do this href. So let's go and do that. Back here at lab 1, make a new folder. And I'm going to call it pages, just because, right? So here I'm going, this should, when I do this, I want to put a file in pages, and that thing will be called directions. Doesn't exist yet, but it will. So directions.html is going to be about the same. Not sure why that's underlined, because I guess it's because it's a link right now. We could have an alt there, and that could just say the directions. And
Sir,
so
could you repeat the link?
can you not
How
see it?
did you do it? No, I
Uh,
could see it.
yeah, I'm recording this, so you can watch it 20 times if you like. But yeah, how you do it is you make an A, right? And then you do the href, which is your hyperlink reference, equal. And then in here, you put the name of the file that you want to the name of the URL or the file that you want to direct to. Now, in our case, it's going to be, and because I'm looking at my structure here, right, I've created a new folder called pages. So from the index file, if I want to go to directions, I will go to pages, and the directions file will be in there. And when I click on this link, it should take me to that. So that's what happens there. So actually not finished yet, because I have to close the A tag and I have to say to directions. This is the directions um, file. So is that okay? I
Sir,
sort of semi-repeated it, but as I
sir,
said, you could, pardon?
is ALT is important?
No. Oh, okay. Is it important? The purpose for the ALT is because if just in case your you, actually no, let's take it out. It's more for images. Let's take it out. So you don't getting confused on that. All right, so that's kind of all we need for that. What else does it say to do? It said we need this thing here, right? So I'm just going to copy that because that's from a Word file. So I can copy it. I'm going to put it in the main. Now the dots don't really, that's not a good way of doing it in HTML. So I'm not going to do that. But what I will do with each of these is I'm going to make it into a list. I think you guys have seen lists before, right? So this is an unordered list. Didn't we do lists? I hope. So I'm going to put all of that into an unordered list. And I'm just tabbing it to be the same. And so each of these is going to have a, let's backspace and get that out. What I want to do is I want to tab that in a bit. Okay, so each of these is going to have a LI because it's a list item, and it's going to end with the LI, right? So I'm going to cut that from there and paste it on the end. Oh my gosh, it's big, isn't it? Okay, so paste that there. Now I'm gonna put that at the end of all of those. Now when I go back to do these starts, it's probably gonna put those. So that's making my, yeah. So yeah, it did do it. Did do what I didn't want it to do, but never mind. And okay, so what I've done is, hey, you know, when you've got these things, you don't want to do a lot of typing. Why would I want to type all that out? I've just got it there. I wouldn't copy. So copy paste will work. Save, Control S, and then test to see what you're doing if it works. So I can do that by navigating to the file here and just double clicking on it, and that should launch the browser with the page in it. And my page is empty because I haven't saved it. Okay, so let's go back here. I haven't saved this. Did I not save it? I thought I saved it. So back to that. Yeah, there it is. So now we've got our page is starting to be a page. There's not much going on in there. We've got a heading, we've got a directions, and we've got these three things there. I don't know what this. So it's picking up some crazy things with those. That's interesting. The dashes does it. The dashes. So maybe I should take those out. Maybe I have to put in a special character for them because it's formatting them kind of weirdly. So save that and back to that. Yeah, it's a bit better. So now we get to the fun bits, I guess. Welcome page should have so we've done that. We've got a link to the images page, directions page, but we don't have a directions page. The directions page should have driving. Oh, okay. So first we have to put an accompanying image to each of these, right? Each of these inside the list item is got to have an image. And so we'll do that. IMG. All right. So IMG SRC stands for source. That equals, and then we know where these images are, right? And actually, this is so good once you start with this. Look, it gives me a hint where I'm going to find the images. Yeah, and then I get a choice of which image I want. Is that not cool? All right, and now this is where we do our alt. Alt equals, we'll say drip supreme. And this is what will show in case the image is the link to the image is broken. I shouldn't have done it with that other thing. So the image is only one tag. It's not a set of tags. So let's save. You should test it as you go. So I just saved that and let's test it. Now the image link is broken. So how could it be broken? All right. I don't see why. Oh, of course I see why. Because the quote is in the wrong place. I need another quote here. Okay, so be careful with that. And that's why you test it as you're going, right? Otherwise, so now this is not nice because it's kind of too big, but it's a start. We got an image in there. What we'll do is we'll fix all the images so that they're the same size in a minute.
So
All right,
how
so
can I change the size of the pictures?
sorry,
How can I change the size of pictures?
we're going to do that now if you want. All right, so good question. How do I change the styles of the pictures? We go into the head and we do a thing called style. All right, and then in the style, we mention the images, right? So and then in the images, we say what's the size. So we can make the height a certain height. And so we'll say, I don't know, 50 px, and we'll make the width a certain width. And again, 50. So we'll make them nice square pictures. So all the pictures will be the same size. So what basically this is styling. What this is going to do is any tag, which is an image tag, and this is an image tag, is going to end up with whatever's inside that tag. And so that's this thing here is going to be 50 pics by 50 pics. Okay, so I'm going to save that and renew.
Sorry.
And I got a nice small one. Maybe 50 is a bit small, eh? All right, let's make it a little bigger. Let's make it 100. Not 190. And save that. And so that's why you check it as you go, right? I think that's okay. Now the other pics will come out the same size, right? We're going to just do
Okay.
them one at a time, right? So this one, this one is image. Oops, sorry. Image src equals, and when I open the thing, it gives me the choices, right, from the images folder. And this one is iced chai latte. And make sure you don't delete the quote like I did last time. Alt equals iced chai latte. And close your image tag test by saving. Test, there, got that. And then do the same with the next one. Image, source equals from the images folder and iced coffee and milk. Alt equals, I think you're getting the idea now, right? Equals iced coffee and milk.
So what does the alt do?
What does the who do?
Alt.
Alt? Good question. The alt is in case the link is broken, it'll give you this thing. So if I break this, so I'm going to break this link. Let's save it first. Control S. If I break this link by typing the wrong thing, so that's a broken link. So when we view it, I get a little thing there that says what the photo is supposed to be. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the alt, because sometimes people, maybe there's something wrong with their browser, or maybe the image has been deleted by mistake or something, and then
Does alt stand for alternative?
yeah, it's alt stands for alternative. Yeah, so that's it.
Sir,
Yes,
sir,
yes.
why did you put style thing in head? Like it's supposed to be in main, yeah?
No, it's supposed to be in the head. Uh,
Why?
uh, because that's where we put the style. It may have said, okay, you can put style in here inside a tag, but that I don't like it. Okay, that's what's called internal styling. This is called um, sorry, yeah, this
OD
is
style.
external. We have internal style. Sorry, this is called inline styling. This is called internal styling, and then we have another styling which is external styling. I think for us the best one is to do this internal styling, which is we put it in the head. If you're going to do styling in the body or the main, then you'll do it inside the tags. I like to do it in the head because if we do it in here, we're
And sir,
yes. Hello. Okay, so the head is where we put instructions for the browser, which are not seen or used by the person who's using the website. And so that's the obvious place to put our styling. And so yeah, that's another reason why I do it there. Okay,
sir,
so on that, yes. Okay, so I'm going to take this document, copy it. I'm going to make a new one, or I'm going to do a save as. Let's do a save as. And I'm going to save as in the pages directory. I'm going to save as, and I'm going to call it directions. I think it was called directions, right? Well, we can see for sure. Yeah, it's directions. So I'm going to call it. So actually my directions is going to kind of look like my index. So I like to do a bit of recycling, right? Why would I, repeat everything, right? We got 10 minutes left. So what I would do is we don't need all this stuff in. So I'm in my directions one, right? So I can get rid of all this because that's from the main only. Delete all that. And instead of having a link that goes to directions, I'm going to have a link which goes to the index. So the double dot means parent directory. And so for the directions, I'm going to go back to the home page, which is the home or the welcome page, right? So my nav is going to just go back to that. So the double dot means go back to the parent directory, whatever the parent directory is. In the main, I need to have an image of where is this coffee shop, or some way of navigating to it. So I could go and do that, and maybe I'll just let you do that. But oh well, what the heck, I could go and do that by finding, I suppose, somewhere, do a Google and find a coffee shop in Qatar or something. Where's my coffee shop? Maybe do a map or something like that. Come on. Maps. So have I got a coffee shop here somewhere? Yeah, not really. Come on, coffee shop. Oh, well, let's, I don't know, what's a coffee shop? Costa. I don't want to do Starbucks because we've all done Starbucks. That's right. Or we could have done Tim Hortons, right? No, this is directions. Costa Coffee Shop, Doha. We got one? Jeez, this is a lame map, isn't it? Am I using the map wrong or something? Oh, I don't know. Let's say that this is it. I don't know. So I would just take a copy of that, do a snip. We'll say that that's my X marks the spot. We haven't got it on there, so I'll put it here. There's my coffee shop. Right in the middle of that intersection. Anyways, it's kind of lame, but you get the idea. You'd have something like that, right? Okay, so now I'm going to save that. Save it as a. I'll save it in the images of our website. So, and I shall call that directions. And well, we got a few things called directions, but this is an image called directions. And so now I could go into my website. Where are you? And I could say, okay, so and I could just have that image, right? And so I don't want that. So I have to go dot dot. So go back to the root, then go to the images, then find the directions. That would do. And if you wanted, you could even put a link to the Google or whatever. But this is kind of what they want. I just saved that. And so if I go into my, if I go into this, I should be able to see that. If I go to index, let's see if it works, right? So back to, here's our website. It's kind of lame. If I go to directions takes me to this. If I go click on home, it takes me back. Directions home. So that's working. Now what I should do is I should get this thing, this image to,
Mister,
well, yeah.
there's someone waiting in the waiting room, I guess.
I'm in.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. So we can take this image and we can use it as a way of, you can click on the image. So we could do that, and that would be the last thing to do, I think. So what we could do is we could say, so this would be a href, right? So it'd be in an A tag, A tag, and so we'd have a href equals, and maybe we just have a, whatever this, where was it? That was here, this thing, whatever this was going to, maybe somebody's, is there a Costa here? I mean, on.
So try coffee bean,
Oh, yeah,
flat white.
yeah, okay, so
There's so many more.
here's I'm looking for somebody who's got their own little website. Oh, this will do. So we're gonna use the Facebook of Costa. So I'm gonna copy that URL. Yeah, all right. And I'm gonna put it in my thing here. So a ref is equal to. So this is their Facebook thing and Costa Coffee. So what will happen is when we click on this image of the directions map, it'll take us to Costa Coffee. And so I'm going to save that and let's look at our thing, home. So something happened to the directions. Yeah. Okay. So I messed this up because I didn't close the tag. Oops. So and I need to put the end of the tag on the other side of that image. So that's why you got to check everything as you go, right? Save that. And there. Now, what should happen now is when I click on this, on the image, it should take me to the Costa Facebook page. And it does. So, and then if now I'm actually navigated outside of my website. So if I want to get back, I have to use the browser's back arrow to get back to my website. That's kind of all that you needed to do for today's lesson. So I'm going to kind of stop at that point, I think. And I'm going to see if there's